Campus organizations work to end the stigma.
And residence halls have updated their mask policy and the COVID-19 guidelines.
We have that and more. This edition of 15 News at 5 starts right now. Thank you for joining us on 15 News at 5. I'm Heather Bricka.
And I'm Nick Rakowski.
This past month was Mental Health Awareness Month. Many organizations on campus participated in educating students on Valpo's on-campus resources for mental health needs and the importance of ending the stigma around mental health. According to the National Alliance on Mental Health Illness, 1 in 4 young adults between the ages of 18 to 24 have been diagnosed with a mental illness. More than 25% of college students have been diagnosed or threatened by treated by a professional for mental health condition. Within the past year, thanks to the current global pandemic, these numbers are climbing higher than previous years. On-campus resources for Valpo are found through the Counseling Center's website, including things such as individual therapy and stress relief and relaxation room. For online guidance, Valpo provides Zoom conferences and meditation practices throughout the website Tau Connect.
Before the school semester began, Colette Irwin Knott was appointed as the interim president-elect of Valparaiso University. Colette Irwin Knott is a Valpo alumni who graduated with a Bachelor of Science in 1981. She had been a member of the board since 2009 and now serves on the executive committee of the board. She chairs its finance and administrative committees, while also serving on the campus life and presidential search committees.
COVID-19 guidelines for residential halls were updated on September 21st. The new rules state that masks are to be worn at all times in areas of the residence halls when students are in group setting of more than one person. Groups are not to exceed 4 individuals in the standard residence hall room at one time. But larger lounge spaces can hold more students. They are allowed to remove their masks when they are alone in their residence halls. Off-campus visitors are still not allowed outside the main floor lounge and have to wear a mask in that area, while students from other residence halls on campus may go to other floors and rooms if they are wearing a mask. Remember to fill out your campus clear form every day and to contact the health center if you are experiencing any symptoms.
Another recently addition to campus COVID response is the COVID Community Concern Reporting Form. This form allows students and faculty to submit concerns reports of individuals who are constantly not following the guidelines that are put in place. If someone on campus sees a person or social situation that could put others' health at risk, they are free to report it. If you are worried about reporting, you can have an anonymous report.
The Career Center is holding virtual career fairs, so students are still able to meet future employers. The next career fair is October 8th for government, nonprofit, human services, and education jobs and internships. It will begin at 10 a.m. and end at 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time, October 21st. October 21st will be the first business fair, and November 6th will be the Nursing and Health Professions Fair. If you would like to participate in any of these fairs, head over to the Career Center's webpage to register. You can even schedule a one-on-one session with the employers before and after the fair to get to know them better.
In early September, Valparaiso University announced their modified spring 2021 semester schedule for students. The spring semester will begin later in January than in previous years, as classes will start on the 25th instead of the traditional 2-week spring break. The university will have a brief break from April 1st through the 6th. This is to minimize the possibility of increased COVID-19 cases on campus. Classes will resume on April 7th, with the semester ending in mid-May. Exams will begin on Monday, May 10th through Friday, May 14th. Final grades for the spring semester will be up on Monday, May 17th.
And switching gears from tests, we have a very fun story. Recently, students made a Facebook group to gather attention from students to work on getting a student senate to purchase a 12-foot tall skeleton, among other Halloween decorations. This group is hoping to use this as a way to help liven the spirits of students and university community, since the pandemic canceled many events to raise morale on campus, such as sporting events, homecoming, and fall break. So far, the Facebook group has gained 336 supporters, which is claimed to be only 34 students away from 10% of the student population. They have applied for a grant from the Discretionary Fund Committee on Student Senate, and it will be discussed on Monday the 5th at Student Senate meeting, and we will be updating you on the outcome of this meeting.
This week's poll is out. What is your favorite activity to do at an orchard? Is it A, pick apples and drink apple cider, B, work your way through the corn maze, C, take aesthetic Instagram photos, D, spend time with your friends? Head on over to our Twitter page after the broadcast to cast your vote.
And we have 15 Weather's Blake Harms in the studio today to tell us about our upcoming weather. So Blake, will we start to see more of those fall-like temperatures soon?
Well, Heather and Nick, I can tell you today was not a great day to be at the apple orchard. Notice we got a brief burst of some pea-sized hail. It came down pretty quickly. It only lasted a few minutes, but that's indicative of the kind of day we've had. Scattered rain showers, a mix of a little bit of everything today. Even some lake effect rain showers are now kicking in. South Bend, it really got clobbered. It's beginning to push its way west as these winds turn northerly. We're starting to pick up on a little bit of this rain now. Traffic along I-65 in Hobart is pretty quiet. It was raining pretty hard here not too long ago, and we'll continue to see that on and off pattern. It's going to continue with us here for most of the night. We do have some lake effect rain on the way tonight. It could be rather significant, and I'll detail that for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Blake. The first presidential debate took place last Tuesday evening. We have some highlights from it.
And Ruth Bader Ginsburg made history once again as she was the first woman to lie in state at the Capitol. Stick with us. It was a date no one will soon forget. President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden went toe-to-toe last night in a fiery showdown in Cleveland. But did either candidate come out ahead? And what's their next move? Camila Bernal is at the White House with the latest.
I'm not going to answer the question
Why
because,
would you answer that
because
question?
On a night when millions of Americans tuned in to hear from their presidential candidates, voters heard this.
the
New
question
Supreme Court
is,
Justice,
the
radical
question-
left.
will you
Who
shut
is
up,
your,
man?
Listen, who?
The 90-minute debate was filled with heated exchanges and frustrating moments, with President Donald Trump at times trying to steamroll the Democratic nominee, Joe Biden.
Wait a minute, Joe. Let me shut you down for a second.
At times, Biden fighting back, but also trying to connect to the American people, including a personal moment when he defended his son Hunter.
My son, like a lot of people we know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it, and I'm proud of him.
Trump, when given the opportunity by moderator Chris Wallace to denounce white supremacist groups, responded with this.
Give me a name. Give me a
White
name. Go ahead.
supremacists and
Who would
white
you like me to condemn?
White
Proud Boys.
supremacists and right
Proud
militia.
Boys, stand back and stand by.
Trump and Biden are moving on, taking their messages to key battleground states. Biden kicking off a campaign swing through Ohio and Pennsylvania.
He didn't speak to you or your concerns or the American people even once.
Trump, meanwhile, visiting Minnesota for a private fundraiser before holding a rally in Duluth.
I thought it was a great evening. It was an exciting evening.
At the White House, I'm Camila Bernal.
Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg makes history even after her death, as she lies in the state at the U.S. Capitol. The honor comes just one day before President Trump is expected to announce his pick to replace Ginsburg on the Supreme Court. Stacey Cohen reports.
It's considered one of the highest honors.
I have the high honor to welcome Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg to lie in state in the Capitol of the United States. She does so on a catafalque built for Abraham Lincoln. May she rest in peace.
The justice, wife, mother, and international icon who becomes the first woman and first Jewish person to lie in state at the U.S. Capitol.
As a lawyer, she won equality for women and men, not in one swift victory, but brick by brick, case by case, through meticulous, careful lawyering.
Only 38 people, including Ginsburg, have received this honor since the practice began in 1852. Ginsburg died last Friday at the age of 87 after serving on the Supreme Court for 27 years. Family, friends, and dignitaries paid their final respects. Ginsburg's personal trainer did 3 push-ups in her honor. President Trump paid his respects yesterday by visiting the Supreme Court. Trump was in Florida Friday morning following a campaign rally in Jacksonville Thursday night. He plans to announce his nominee to replace Ginsburg on Saturday. But while a new justice will eventually take her seat, no one can take Ginsburg's place in history. In Washington, I'm Stacey Cohan reporting.
According to astronomers, spirals are definitely in this season. The Hubble Space Telescope captured this amazing photo of a spiral galaxy about 60 million light years away from Earth. The photo is so stunning, clear that astronomers with the telescope made it their picture of the week. They say it took 9 hours of observation to get this high resolution. This galaxy is an active one. Scientists say it's been the site of a supernova. That's when a star becomes extremely bright, then explodes, lighting up part of the galaxy with its energy.
Which we're learning about on space weather, so space weather class.
Right now.
All right, coming up after the break, Blake Harms will have your full forecast.
And we'll take a look at this past week's Crusader and National Sports. Stick with us.
Well, how's this for a live shot, huh? We got the lake effect rain on its way over from South Bend. We got a nice little rainbow that just popped up about 90 seconds ago. I think it knew it was going to be on camera. But overall, a very odd day. Lake effect rain coming in. We had hail earlier. Now we got rainbows. We got sunshine. A mixed bag of what we would call a classic fall day. Here's a look at radar. You see that lake effect band gradually beginning to shift its way west as those winds turn more northerly. We're going to be in a pretty favorable setup overnight tonight, and that's what portions off to our east have been seeing. Far southwest Michigan and portions off towards South Bend have been seeing that steady rain for several hours now, and that'll be us later tonight after sunset and into those overnight hours. Regionally, it's a mixed bag. A whole lot of rain showers. We've had some water spouts reported along Lake Michigan today, and overall just a very odd pattern. We've seen some hail pop up here and there. Fortunately, we're going to be getting a bit more of a break this upcoming weekend. Temperatures right now, 53 in Valpo. You can see that rain-cooled air, and we're in the 40s off to our east. South Bend, Michigan City, both in the upper 40s. That'll be us as we gradually transition overnight tonight, and our temperatures are going to get pretty chilly for the next few nights. Regionally, you see that cooler air mass is beginning to pour its way down. You thought today was cold. We got a few chilly days in store before things finally begin to warm back up next week. Some frost advisories are in effect. The Weather Service here in Chicago thinks we're going to be warm enough to avoid any major frost or freeze issues, but much of the Midwest is seeing their first frost or freeze so far this season. Future radar shows that heavy rainfall right on top of Valpo. It's going to be pretty steady for a rather significant period overnight tonight. Those winds turn northerly and they kind of park for most of the night. Could wake up tomorrow morning and we could still be seeing a few drops before things begin to gradually clear out. Cold front passes through. We see some increase in cloud cover throughout the day on Friday as well. For your forecast tomorrow, we'll see that rain taper off by sunrise, mostly cloudy skies throughout most of the day tomorrow. Temperatures, that is not correct. We'll be in the mid-50s in the afternoon, not in the 20s. But overall, substantial cloud cover. It's going to be breezy as well, but at least you won't be dealing with that rain. Most of it's going to fall while we're all asleep tonight. 7-day forecast shows those next few days are going to be pretty chilly, about 15 degrees below average, in fact. We'll see a chance of rain on Sunday, completely clear skies for Monday, and overall a nice week next week. Temperatures will be back up near 70, which is right around average, and that'll be a nice change of pace after what we've seen the last few days.
Thanks, Blake. After the break, we'll have a recap of this past week's golf team, Crusader sports, and also some national sports. Stick with us.
As seen throughout the professional sports world, many leagues have delayed the start of the regular season. Valpo sports is likewise for the fall, as many of the sports have been moved in hopes of a spring start. Some teams, however, have begun their fall season with both men's and women's golf teams started this past week. Both teams were at the Flyer Intercollegiate hosted by Lewis University in Lamont, Illinois. Day one for the men's team consisted of 36 holes, with Valpo leading the tournament to end the day. Sophomore Caleb Van Argen led the Crusaders with a 74 in his first round, followed by a 4-under 68 in the second round of the day. Entering round two, Valpo holds 3 of the 4 top spots with junior Garrett Willis in second and senior Brett Seward in fourth. Day one for the women's team saw freshman Rosalind Letnier with a 3-over 75 in her first round of play. Valpo, after the first round, sits in 5th out of 9 at the tournament. Men's basketball announced their conference schedule for the upcoming season. Valpo will start the conference season at Indiana State on December 30th, while the first conference home game of the season will be against Loyola on January 2nd. The women's basketball team will start their conference schedule at home on January 1st against Loyola. Their first road game of the season will come January 7th at UNI. The national sports scene saw many changes to their schedules due to COVID-19, and some of those seasons are already coming to a close. On Monday, the Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup with a 2-0 win over the Dallas Stars with a 4-2 series win. This marks the second time the Lightning have won the Stanley Cup and the first since 2004. The NBA restarted their season in Orlando over the summer. Only 22 teams were allowed into the bubble, and those teams were no more than 6 games out of a playoff spot. The teams would play 8 regular season games to determine playoff standings. The NBA is now in the NBA Finals, where the Miami Heat face off against Los Angeles Lakers. The MLB was not able to start their season before COVID-19. After 4 months, the MLB restarted the 2020 season in July, with a 60-game schedule played out. The MLB currently has just started the playoffs. The NFL was professional organizations. The NFL to start on time. The start of the season was 3 weeks ago. The first week saw almost all empty stadiums, but after the first week, teams such as the Colts, Dolphins, and Cowboys saw fans re-enter at limited capacity. The second professional sports to come back was none other than NASCAR. After a 2-month break due to COVID-19, NASCAR was back in Darlington. NASCAR was able to compress the schedule to have many races in a short amount of time. It took until late August for the schedule to finally realign with the original. However, some racetracks were never ran on this year, and instead others were used in their place. Currently, NASCAR is in the round of the 12 of the playoffs with 2 races to go in this round.
You know, it's been a really weird season for sports all around. I think it's super weird just seeing the fact that NHL is so late in the season, because usually it ends like around early May, and now they're already back to training, so.
Yeah, I think it's around a couple more weeks until they're already back at training camp, and Tampa Bay just won the Stanley Cup. And that series could last a little bit longer, and then who knows, it would have been like a week or 2 turnaround after that.
Right. Well, thank you, Nick. After the break, we'll have Blake with his last look at the final weather.
Here's a peek at our rainfall futurecast. Some regions, such as Valpo, could pick up on almost an inch of rain overnight if we get under some of that steady, heavier lake effect rain. 7-day forecast shows mostly sunny skies returning after a cold period this weekend. Best chance of rain comes Sunday. Otherwise, a pretty dry and pleasant week. It's going to feel a lot more like early fall next week than it does right now.
Well, I'm really glad that it's finally looking more like fall weather. I was kind of tired of having to wear shorts still, so.
I wear shorts all year, so.
Well, yeah, that's you. All right, well, thanks, Blake. I have a question for you. This one came in from a viewer. How do you feel about the petition to get a 12-foot skeleton on campus in the quad?
Oh, absolutely. That thing is beautiful. I mean, we put a mask on that thing. We stick it right in the middle of campus. We got a talking point for every single admissions tour ever here at Valparaiso. I think it's a genius idea.
Now, will they keep it there forever, though?
Absolutely, they should.
I don't think so, because it is just for Halloween, so it just needs to be like a rotating theme.
You dress it up each time for each
Christmas.
Maybe every full moon they pull it back out.
Or like every season or every holiday, you dress it up for something else. So like you put a Santa hat on it.
Oh yeah, we could dress him up as Santa skeleton.
Just long enough for Google Maps to fly over and get a nice shot of it.
That might be a while though. All right, well, if you have a question for us, send it in our way on our Facebook or Twitter, and we might just answer it. You can also send screenshots of forums, questions you have been asked, or questions that you have yourself.
From all of us at VUTV, thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you next Thursday on 15 News.